guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on our YouTube account and we have finally done it. That is right, guys. The gear resonance, we got our 100 tier 3 stone. So I do have one tier 3 stone that I just picked up. So I want to see what the difference is between the current gear that we have, the tier 3 gear, because again, I have never seen this. I know there were a ton of players from the stream and everything else that was really close to getting that 100 number, but we finally hit it this morning. I picked up one tier 3 stone, guys, and there it is for our intelligence. For our Awakened Disease, we're going to add a little bit more of a bonus there, giving him that tier 3 gear, which means, that's right, it is completely unlocked. The library gives us our little red notification. We will activate this, and there is our tier 3 gear for everyone. Now, I believe this is going to make a really big difference where gear is important. So thinking of like the Cursed Realm or looking at a couple different places. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to impact it. That's kind of what I want to look at, because we do have a lot of heroes in here that have the tier 3 gear. But the question is, when you put tier 2 gear on them, what exactly does that look like? And it's weird because now it's not sorting the bag the way that it used to. Because I think like Isabella has all tier 2 gear. So let's kind of take a look at some of these and see. And I'm going to do my snipping tool right here and see kind of where it sits. So I want to slide this one over, make sure you guys can see it. And I don't think it's going to put it in the foreground. But so resonate all. See, it doesn't do anything. That's what I thought. You're going, the tier 3 gear essentially is enchanted tier 2 gear. So you'll actually, it will be technically the same gear is what I was thinking. Because even here, see, it takes the tier 2, it does give it the tier 3 marker. So it's going to be fully enchanted tier 2 gear is going to be the tier 3 bonus that we get on there, which is cool. So essentially that means, with me having fully enchanted tier 2 gear, I wonder if we have enough stones. So there we go. So we got fully enchanted tier 2 gear. So that will not change now, because that is essentially the same. So we know when we got to that tier 2 level, the tier 2 gear that we got with on the heroes was unenchanted tier 2 gear. But now the tier 3 variety of it does just give us the enchanted tier 2 gear, but it doesn't have the faction bonuses, guys. And that is really the big thing to remember here, is it does not include the faction gear. So when we look at specific tier 3 gear, we get this hero bonus right down here in the bottom that is really strong, and that is the reason why we build out the tier 2 or the tier 3 gear, is getting the bonuses that we get from there. And the new gear will not have it. But like I said, it's enchanted tier 2 gear. So why does it really make a difference? For a lot of heroes that we don't have the full gear sets, even here, guys, I mean, we have tier 0. We don't even have tier 1 on any of this gear. And if you're taking your full tier 0 gear, essentially, but it is faction gear, taking it to tier 3, you're getting enchanted tier 2, but I don't think it's faction enchanted tier 2. It's just the regular enchanted tier 2 gear. So interesting. So ultimately, guys, when you're building out the gear, the other way that a lot of players have said that they're doing this is taking off the resonate. So actually removing all gear from heroes. And I know that this is going to be pretty time consuming, but again, this is how a lot of players are approaching it. So you know what gear you need to enchant and what gear that is not enchanted. So we'll go through all of our heroes, actually take off all of their gear through all the factions to see exactly what we have to equip. So in this instance, guys, if we're looking at a hero like Rowan, making sure that nothing is resonated and making sure the gear that we're putting on him is one of two options. Either one, it is specifically light bearer gear because he is a light bearer, or it is the tier 3, as you can see there, the faction gear. So looking at Rose here, we have all tier 4 gear. Looking at Gwen, equip, so we have 2 pieces for her, 2 pieces of tier 2. keeping all of the faction gear specifically to the faction heroes is the way that they're kind of building this. That way, if I do want to go back and enchant gear, the gear will already be of the specific faction, or majority of the gear that I do enchant will already be of a specific faction, because I went through and I did this and I cleaned up all the gear we had in here. For instance, right here, all the gear is different. I do not have any more gear unless we look at the light bearer pieces to really minimize what we have in the bag. And again, they still need to update, or they need to do something with the gear that's in the bag to allow us to honestly to sort it. There has to be a way to sort this gear, but that way, if I am looking in the future to upgrade specific items of gear, I know all of my heroes are going to have their specific faction gear. So there we go, guys. So we'll put all of our faction gear on here. Now we can resonate it, and there we go. So even looking at the combat rating, guys, 43, 656. It goes to 847. That's a pretty big improvement, especially if I do not have the gear for these specific heroes, guys. Now, it's really going to make the gear of the past, I guess, not so prevalent, not so existent, but it's cool to see the ability. I like the tier 3 variety, and I know it's a lot stronger than the tier 2 because there are a lot of heroes like this, guys. We have a Master's Hood because I have no more gear, and it goes to a tier 3 padded armor piece. Again, it is going to be better to enchant these yourselves, enchant and utilize your tier stones on here, but we can do the same as make sure take off all these pieces since she already does have that staff. Ensure that when we're equipping all of our gear on here, that it is faction gear. And again, we need an option to sort the bag. This would be super easy now that we have so many heroes and we have so many gear sets, to actually have the ability to go in here and sort the bag. It would just make it incredibly easy, especially all the gear, if we could sort out what we don't utilize. So since I do not have, it looks like I do not have a Mauler piece. We have that on Ty Lee, or Tay Lee. We have that on Skarath. There we go. So we got tier 2 gear here. So we'll go ahead and enchant. That'll give her tier 3. But now I know specifically that my Mauler hero, this hero, has tier gear. So if I'm looking for, again, specific heroes to enchant, they are going to have the gear of their specific faction. Which, again, the faction gear is going to be a lot stronger than we have for the non-faction gear. So we're going to have to make sure that we can go through and we can enchant. And if they do not have it, or I do not have a piece of faction gear, I can just take that one off. Because I want to keep the faction gear. I know it's not going to resonate anything there, but it's an alternative, I guess, to getting some of the faction gear, even if we put maybe, because I have no non-faction gear, which is interesting. But we can put a piece on there just to build her out. So I'm going to have to play around with it. Again, they really need to fix some of it, but I like that it is all tier 3 gear, guys. So instead of just having this basic gear that we had, now we are sitting on all tier 3 gear, which of course is going to give us a big power boost when we're running 5 teams in here, making sure that we're optimizing the damage that we're doing with the gear that we have. All right, guys, so that'll do it. So we have tier 3 gear now on everyone. Very cool to see the new ability. Again, it is far more beneficial if you equip the gear yourself or level up the gear, enchant the gear yourself to get the tier 3, because you do get the bonuses that are on there. But just running basic tier gear or tier 3 gear versus having basic tier gear is really a big benefit. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.